My only experience with filmmaking is a little bit of acting I did in my early 20s. I really consider myself more of a storyteller, and I've actually written several pieces of short fiction in the past. I want to get into more long form storytelling so that you can add gradation and color into it and tell a more complete story. My current project I'm working on is a creature feature sor- focused on a group of friends that get together after the last of them gets out of the army, go out into the woods, and become the prey of the creature. And I'm picking something a little off kilter. I really wanted to do something with the Wendigo because it's such a fun mythology around it. Um, and you can humanize while also going for something primal with it because of the origins of the myth in Native American mythology and how the Wendigo comes to be.
Awesome, good
Yeah.
stuff. So, what's your favorite creature feature growing up?
Favorite creature feature growing up? Um, that's really difficult because there are so many good ones, and the category of creature feature is so broad. So it really depends on my mood and what kind of creature feature I want to watch at the time. Tremors, I think, falls into the category, even though it's not very scary. It does have a sense of suspense around it because you can't see the graboids. There's always a possibility of just one popping up and attacking. And film undercuts that with humor a lot, but the tension's never completely absent. Um,
I enjoy Kevin Bacon in
oh yeah,
Tremors. He's
yeah,
fantastic. He's always had something, Flash or Footloose, and he's also on sitcoms and all that good
yeah.
stuff. And my buddy always played 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Have you?
His acting in the Invisible Man reboot was phenomenal. The guy can play the just the right sort of sleazy and then amp it up in that, becoming more intense and more disturbing. It's a, an amazing film in my opinion, one that's seriously underrated.
Indeed, that's Hollow Man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
good stuff. They also did the Invisible Man for like in 2020, I think, and that was like a much more graphic than the original way back in the 30s, I think, or 40s. But good times.
Yeah. I think we live in kind of a golden age for horror because while there are certain taboos that are harder to cross in like a major motion picture supported by a studio, with stuff like Kickstarter, with services like Shudder, horror is so accessible that anyone's able to get their ideas out there if they're working hard enough at it. And that kind of is a lot of the encouragement for me to work on my project. I want to get something out there. I don't want it to be a pipe dream.
Indeed, that's the way to do it. You just gotta go for it. Good or bad, just go for it. And you learn along the way, which is great about any kind of art form.
Oh,
Yep, most definitely. And so, James, you're a storyteller as well.
yeah. Yes.
So, what's your have you performed anywhere as like live?
So I did theater growing up. Um, was Banquo and Macbeth. Loved doing that, and some small Ollie roles and other stuff. I was Iago in Othello with the theater troupe I was with. I have some uncredited roles in some small sci-fi films, mostly as a mook or stuff like that. So a lot of stunt work stuff, not a whole lot of character-driven work.
Indeed,
Yeah.
good stuff. And have you are you based out of Orlando? Or?
Actually, I live on the coast, Daytona Beach area.
Oh, very cool.
Um, with my beautiful wife, who I'm here at the convention with. I actually proposed to her at the convention 5 years ago. So spooky is one of those cornerstones of our relationship. Every year we try and make it back out here. Yeah.
That's quite romantic. Yeah.
Well, you got to keep the romance alive.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And for Speaking of Empire to like happen like twice a year now, it's just fantastic. I mean, we're based out of Daytona Beach, so that's pretty awesome at the nOg Irish Pub.
I used to actually go there all the time when I just got back to the country and throw back pictures of old Rasputins. So, about 15 years ago, I was that guy in a leather jacket in the bar drinking directly from their pitcher.
Good
the,
stuff.
the wife's not so much of a fan of that sort of drinking, so I've cut way back.
Indeed, most definitely. That's where you get the coldest beer in town.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's an amazing environment. I still love the place dearly, and don't get out there as much as I would like to, but keeps the wifey happy if I'm not coming home soused every night.
Indeed, most definitely. Yeah, it's haunted. Because I just interviewed the owner. He was on his way out while you were on your way in. So that's Randy. His dad, Bill, owned the place, and so we're gonna have some storytelling on Halloween. We're gonna tell ghost stories. So it's called "Are You Afraid of the nOg" instead of "Are You Afraid of the Dark."
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fantastic. It's from 10 to 1, so it's gonna be fantastic. Just come by, bring your wife, tell some scary stories.
Unfortunately, that's not an option. Me and her do a Halloween party, small get together with the friends every year.
Oh.
We do ghost stories, horror movie trivia, and we tend to do something a little special with the food every year. This year, we're going to be doing a pumpkin alcohol sampling, and I'm going to be introducing my friends to a pumpkin spice mead that I've got maturing in a case back home.
Wow. In Daytona Beach?
Yeah, that I made myself.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of folks have been drinking mead lately, and do you go often to the land?
Fairly often. I know there's a mead place out there.
Yeah, the Abbey. Well, I think there's probably more, but I know that the Abbey have they do their own stuff too. But definitely, we should have like a mead meeting.
A meeting.
A meeting, yep.
Yeah. So, the Halloween party we do every year. A fun fact is, when we just moved into our current apartment, we did the Halloween party, and I went a little bit overboard. I actually downloaded a guide to a Nokian script and wrote out a couple of banners mocking demons and calling them bitches.
Oh.
And we had a couple of incidences where there were phantom sounds, shadow people, and our tuxedo cat Percival hissing at random things until my wife did a smudging.
Oh.
So
With
yeah. Sage, yes.
sage, yep. That's the thing to use. I have some sage at home too.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much of that I believe in. I believe a lot of rituals are more a way of us focusing and externalizing the energy we carry with us. And the tools, the ritual of it, all act to focus it, direct that energy.
Have you read, there's a book that I first picked up called Mr. Be Gone, and it's by Clive Barker, and he's known for Hellraiser and such, Candyman, and it's about a book that's possessed by a demon as you're reading it, and so there was a part that messed with my head a little bit. I was like, there's no fan on, but he goes, see that page moving on the other side? That's me making it move by jumping up and down on it. And I looked over and it was moving up and down by itself. It was bonkers.
Clive Barker actually is one of my favorite authors and movie makers. Two of his works that I think are underrated for completely different reasons are Nightbreed, which came out at a really unfortunate time and was misadvertised by the studio, and it kind of just buried the film. And it's great examination of good and evil and who are the real monsters. And then there's Rawhead Rex, which is generally credited for Barker deciding that he didn't want anyone else adapting his books into movies and therefore making Hellraiser. It's so bad it becomes an unintentional comedy. The creature in it, Rex, who's supposed to be a primordial being, it's this unmoving mask that just looks derpy, but still vaguely threatening because of the huge teeth and jaws. And the eyes light up in this very obvious. It's lit up from inside by a bulb effect. I don't even think they soften the light with after images. I'm pretty sure you can actually see the lights inside the eyes. Although the funny thing about that is that Rex in the original story is more like a penis monster, not this hulking ape humanoid thing. Just this weird, gross penis monster. And so in the original story, there's this theme that's kind of lost, kind of still there in the movie, about toxic masculine force versus the sacred feminine, which is really cool. And the written story is interesting for that element. It's kind of only there if you really want to read into it in the subtext of the movie, because it's so condensed, which happened to a lot of Clive Barker's early films, where someone else was adapting it, so they chopped it way down and removed a lot of the more nuanced elements to it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yep. From the Books of Blood. Yep. Good stuff. And were you able to, I guess final question, because we're at the 12-minute mark. Awesome. So, have you read Cabal from the Nightbreed, where it came from?
Yeah. I read it. Clive Barker's prose is actually a big influence on me as a writer. He doesn't just come out and say things. He describes the mood, the ambiance, the energy of a scene in these almost poetic terms, which is one of those things that I feel gets lost in the translation of his works to film by other filmmakers, and why Hellraiser was so successful, because there really is an unsettling element to everything in that movie. Even the more mundane scenes, it feels like there's something looming, and that's Clive Barker as an artist. Not to compare myself too directly with him, because I'm just an aspiring filmmaker. I know I'm not on his level, but I think that everyone who is involved in any form of art needs to have their own energy that they bring to it. I'm more of a straightforward guy, and so my story, based on the Wendigo that I'm writing as a screenplay, is going to have a bit more of a brash action movie feel to it, though I'm still trying to add intellectual elements to it, examining that sort of primalness of hunger and how it can take away humanity. So.
Indeed. And this was inspired by Clive Barker. So you got Butterball, Chatter, Pinhead, and the Female Cenobite.
Yeah.
And Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas setting.
Yeah, because Pinhead is obviously the man himself. But yeah, so great talking with you.
Great talking to you, James. And so, yep. And if you get the chance, if you haven't already, watch the Nightbreed Director's Cut that came out in 2014.
I own it.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
You know, there's a special Easter egg in there. If you catch the end credits, you'll see my name in it. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.